evening, music lovers. My name is Angela Viscido, Eclectrix founder, producer, and videographer. Welcome to tonight's broadcast of Prime Time, a bi-monthly show highlighting the arts and performing artists. Tonight's Part 2 broadcast again features New York native Jordan-mclean. Jordan is a New York City-based composer, arranger, bandleader, trumpeter, producer, and educator. He has played professionally since 1992, having performed, recorded, and collaborated with major and emerging artists, ensembles, and performance organizations in studios, concert halls, and festivals around the world. Jordan co-founded System Dialing Records in 2010 with Amir Ziv. He currently serves as manager of programming and technology at Fotografiska, New York. Jordan is also a charter member of this year's Grammy-nominated band Antibalas. Since the 2021 Grammy Awards are coming to us soon, we will kick off tonight's special show with Foo Chronicles' official video. Foo Chronicles is the Antibalas recording nominated for Best Global Album 2021. This incredible, invigorating, and brilliant video you are about to see is called Fight Finish. Here's to our guest Jordan-mclean, here's to Antibalas, and here's to Sifu Amayo in his directorial debut in Fight Finish.
Good evening, Jordan-mclean, and welcome to Eclectrix Video this Saturday night. You chose a particular tune for us to play, and is there any reason for that?
This is Antibalas. We were nominated for a Grammy this year, our 7th record, our first Grammy nomination, Daptone Records.
All right, well, here we go.
Pay homage, freedom fighter, Mojuba, Salochi. Sasha, Japatakio. Oh yeah. Come on. Hey. Get ready to rumble. let's address the rules. No, oh no. No kokoro for the ground. No wuru wuru for I. No mago mago backstabbing. No penny penny wayo. Rules are rules. No exception. Round two. Have or get knowledge. Working together, let's go. Round three. Oh yeah, oh. Never let go. Fight to finish, yeah. Irrepressible soldier. You got a big dream. Never let it go. Always keep the fight going. It's such a record gloves. Open on fire. Never repressing you. Never, ever letting go.
Jordan, that was wonderful. What a beautiful
It's a hot
video too. Where did you make the video?
Shot really well. It was like boxing dojo vibes, like a punk rock New York hip hop vibe boxing club on Grand Street in Williamsburg. You can look it up. All that it was all shot there. And so the footage from the beginning of the video was actually shot in Nigeria. Yeah, that's part of Amayo's, and you see how he's integrating kung fu into the song there. Yeah.
Wonderful, yeah. Great feeling. We're going to actually play another tune from Directors, but called Ahead. But before we do that, I just wanted to ask you to tell us a little bit about System Dialing Records, and two things about System Dialing Records, and also about your most interesting collaborations in the music. Perhaps the work you did with the icon or Ornette Coleman, or your choice, but we'd love to hear about your production efforts as well. Oh, sure. Thank you.
So this is our 10-year anniversary being artist run since 2010. As Amir and I like to say, we're on, going on our 14th, 15th release, this Armo single. And we also have another single that's on Bandcamp now and will be streaming worldwide at the end of the month. Called New Paris. It's a single from Starstruck, who's an artist I met up at doing my grad work at SUNY Purchase. We put his EP out early 2020. And that's also available, systemdialingrecords.com. You can visit our market. Bandcamp, the System Dialing Bandcamp page is also just an easy way for people to get right to the artist and support directly there. So, you know, counting backwards from Armo and Starstruck and my solo records and Amir's solo records and our collaborations with bands like Droid, featuring Adam Holzman, who was Miles's music director for years, and Tim LaFave, legendary bass player, who was, you know, became kind of a household name because he was featured on David Bowie's last record with as part of Donnie McCaslin's band. Yeah, and all of the educational components that Amir weaves into the System Dialing releases, with all of his work with drummers and percussionists from around the world, and, you know, making our avant-garde percussion ensemble music. Pop It is one of our percussion ensemble records that I'm really proud of, because it features all kinds of horn and electronics and vocal arrangements and all kinds of just, you know, really experimental art forward music that I think still really rocks. And that's part of the System Dialing ethos. Is I'm not going to get it exactly right, but our motto is bringing the experimental, the edges of experimental music to the center of mainstream discovery. So, you know, we're trying to just take stuff that a few years ago would have sounded too weird, but you know, the way music works is, and this ties into, you know, the work with Ornette Coleman, is like Ornette's work was, you know, beyond what people could really listen to and comprehend when he started making it. And then, you know, as time went on, his aesthetic, his gesture, his ideas about how music is made and you know, what it means, has become totally integrated into the most basic musical aesthetics of our day. There is no modern hip hop without Ornette. Like the way Ornette pioneered the avant-garde has become totally integrated into even the most mainstream pop, hip hop musical aesthetics. Sounds that were just too weird for the radio or too weird for music, you know, generations later, it's like, that's where we're starting now. We're starting with sound. And how does sound become music? You know, the formulaic, you know, pop song structures and just the sounds that people thought they needed to get in the studio to actually get something played on the radio, or to make something that people would want to buy the record or come out to the club. All that stuff is so radically changed in, you know, even since the 80s. What for me was, you know, the pop music that I grew up on, and those synth sounds, which, you know, a generation before were unforgivable and unimaginable, and now they're basic, you know. So to me, it's just really interesting how what starts on the fringes, what starts as avant-garde, what starts as unlistenable, becomes the most basic ingredient in the next generation or two's formulas about what's cool. You know, TV on the radio is, you know, a legendary New York band, you know, the band that's kind of, to me, most emblematic of like the Brooklyn sound of the last, whatever, 10, 15 years. You know, their first EP was doo-wop and noise. I mean, I was like, what is this guy? I love it, but like, what are you guys doing? An EP later, a record later, and then, you know, Spin Magazine, you know, Spin Magazine's record of the year, 2 consecutive records. It's like you start as far out as you can, and then eventually, if it's meant to be, and you got the right relationships and people want to hear what you're doing, it'll be right down the middle of the plate before you know it. So that's, you know, that's kind of how System Dialing, that's where our rubber hits the road. And yeah, getting to work with Ornette was, it was the coolest, because, you know, we were friends, and he supported it and encouraged us every step of the way to making new vocabulary. And of course, it was highly contentious, and we don't, you know, we can talk about it or not, but what lasts is the music. And He was super proud of that music. And, you know, from the critics to, you know, a whole wide swath of musicians around the world seem to appreciate what Ornette was, what he was channeling at that point in his life. You know, it is technically his last studio record. And as one critic put it, how interesting they thought it was that he decided to make that record not with quote unquote jazz musicians, but with electronic music artists. Yes. Which, you know, that's great. I'll whatever people want to call me, like, you know, I don't really care. You know, of course, sure, that's part of what I do, is make electronic music. And I just thought it was kind of cool how different people were able to take different things away from that record. We got all kinds of mainstream coverage and all kinds of people writing everything about us on every corner of the internet. But somewhere in the middle there, it comes down to the fact that that music is a representation of the communication that Amir and Ornette and I had just when we were hanging out. That translated to then when we went into the studio. We spent many hours jamming in the studio before we systematically went about making that record. And I think it stands up.
Yes.
We shot both Rising to the Top and Ahead, as well as our video for So Fly, which is Sah's tune, which you can also find on online. A beautiful summer anthem, super positive, uplifting, just like play it in the club, everybody sing along. It's also got a bunch of rock trumpet on it. So that's kind of why I picked this one too, because I think it looks good and it's got the trumpet in an interesting context, and that's what I'm going for.
Sweet, 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 sweet. Sweet silence leads us home beneath the cacophony alone. And if we sing our own song, then we can all sing along. Sleep, sweet baby, don't you cry, but check your wings and hit the sky. This whole team was built to fly, and everybody here is so damn fly.
Ahead is a lot of what Directors is going for in a nutshell. It's got freestyle rap lyrics, it's got instrumental jams. I'm bringing trumpet, I want to put a trumpet solo on like a Queen style, like rock, like fusion funk, whatever you want to call it. We're throwing it all in there. There's nothing that's not our Directors sound. There's nothing that's out of bounds for us. And so I really appreciate with that band getting to put trumpet in the context of music that's otherwise just typically left for synths and guitars and vocals. So that's why I selected this track also.
Okay, one more question before
Please.
we go into the music. You have an interesting new position right now.
Right. So
I'd just like you to speak a little bit about that.
Well, anybody who's watching right now should feel free to come Wednesday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. to Photographiska, New York, 22nd and Park. We are an extension of the globally recognized Photographiska, which started in Stockholm, Sweden 10 years ago. There's one in Tallinn, Estonia. There's another couple on the horizon in other romantic global locations in the next couple of years. But we are New York's newest, quote unquote, major cultural institution. And we are the home for both the newest and most established photography artists in the world. It's super dynamic curating. A more conscious world through photography is that is our motto. That is we are actively pursuing every day, is putting up art. And it also, again, comes back to the relationships, programming. So I'm the manager of programming and technology, which means I help with stuff on the tech side, audiovisual components to the exhibitions, all of our live streams, producing the live streams, but also where that meets programming, which means I get to work with exhibitions. I get to work with all of the departments in taking the experience off of the walls and having the artists get a chance to program conversations, herbal remedy workshops, playlists, just everything that can kind of take the work off of the walls and make it a little more three-dimensional and bring it, in the age of COVID, bring it right to people's living rooms. So Photographiska New York, we are still open for business, and you can come visit me there. I'm there, throughout the week. Kind of depends on the week, but look me up and you can find me there, or just come and take a walk. But it's state-of-the-art HVAC, timed entrances. As far as a COVID environment, I feel really good about telling people to come there. If you are comfortable going, out and experiencing culture, we're open, and we're doing the most you can do to maintain a safe, hygienic, and also still a warm, friendly, fun, funky environment. So come check out Photographiska. Maybe I'll see you there.
Thank you, Jordan McClain. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Janet. Thank you for everything through the years. When I was 18, you gave me the confidence to think like, maybe this is something that I could do and people would care about. So I can't thank you enough for, getting me into all those clubs when I was in the high school, and, helping me to just experience all that great music with the Mingus Big Band and Opera House and Franz Hockel and David Murray and all of the amazing artists that you worked with back when I was just a kid, and exposing me to them so up close at that pivotal time. I can't thank you enough. I don't know where I'd be without you. So thank you.
Your quiet fire has certainly grown. Cheers, Jordan McClain.
Cheers to you, Janet. Thank you so much. And I love you, New York. Bye, everybody.
Okay, off we go to Ahead.
All right.
All right.
Like a seed, and who knows what you're gonna be. Daytime, nighttime, now feels like the right time. Flames are glowing all around, your shell is on unstable ground. Street light, skylight, up in the sky, like the sun blazing high. Black swan down, land of flame. Above up in the sky, like the sun. Have you ever felt like you were a seed on a tree and about to break free? Have you ever felt like you were a bird in an egg and you want to stretch your legs? When the flame gets hotter and you think you might lose your way, you might wanna reconsider who you are and the potential that you haven't used thus far. If you were a bird being reborn now, then you probably are a phoenix. Up in the skies, that a bird, not a plane. In fact, you are a zenith. Transmutation, focus, concentration. Harness the